Namaskar, sir, and welcome to our little chat about Kazi, about the process of
Yes.
filmmaking. And for everybody else viewing, I'd like to let you know that Mr. Shishir Sharma has been in this industry, whether it's off camera, on a stage, or whether it's on camera, on your screens, in web series, in movies, in serials, on television. Mr. Shishir Sharma has been everywhere for a long time, and he is from a very personal point of view. He's not just an actor. He's a mentor, and he's somebody who gets involved in every single part of filmmaking. If you're an independent filmmaker, he's a godsend to you. Thank you, sir, for being a part of Kazi.
Well, that's an introduction that one needs to record and keep for a very, very long time to come. Well, before you ask me any questions, I have a couple of questions to ask you.
Sir.
Tell me, you were in the Air Force, you left the Air Force in 2021, and you wanted to pursue a career in filmmaking. Not only filmmaking, but also being an actor.
Sir.
How difficult was it to make that choice?
It was a very difficult choice. The first few months of even voicing your thought, ki, let's do this, it's very difficult because you don't know what the other person is thinking, or whether they will approve of your choice, or whether they'll think you're crazy. Because who puts their entire retirement fund into a film? This is what you use to build your next career or to buy a house, as us middle class people would do. Who would do that? But when I voiced my thought to my husband as a joke, like, "Hame kyun nahi bana lete?" He said, "Why not?" The moment he said, "Why not?" I had to grab that opportunity. Voicing it out to my family was another big step because I run everything past my mother. Every decision I've made, I may be at loggerheads with her, but I always follow what she says. And I slowly realize I'm turning into my mom. She's a very strong and beautiful woman. And when they heard of it initially, there was a little bit of a hiccup, as in they weren't embracing the idea completely because, see, they want to protect their own daughter. And my brother, he told my mother that what she's doing is incredible. Let her do it. It doesn't matter whether she succeeds. The fact that she's doing it is more than enough. And the moment he voiced that opinion, my parents just blindly came on board. They supported me wholeheartedly because they also needed that. The only fear they had was for my own well-being and nothing else. It was not about what the world would say or how they would perceive my actions. But once my family was on board, it became a task. Being in the Air Force helped me understand how operations work. The end of the day, a film being made, a film set is like an Air Force station for me. So uh, I imbibed whatever I learned from my bosses. I remember my air officer commanding. He may not know how to control aircraft. He may not do an ATC officer's job. As an air traffic controller, I did not do a radar fitter's job. I did not. I knew how to use the radar. I used it to control aircraft, but that didn't mean that I would sit and fix it if anything went wrong. But whenever there was an operation, we had a D-Day. I don't know how to fly a plane, but planes were flown and they landed safely. So everybody achieved one goal. We all worked towards a common goal, and that is what Kazi was, to make Kazi. But when we had the D-Day, we broke it down into several little tasks. The first was assembling a team. The biggest challenge about assembling a team is trusting a first time filmmaker who has never had any experience on any set, who has never assisted anybody, uh, who has nothing to do with the film industry, no connections, for them to trust me and to come on board. not to ridicule me, and to accept me as the one heading this operation. That was a big thing. The second challenge was actors. You had never heard of me, sir. You only heard squadron leader Sheba Ghosh in the beginning, and I believe um, because of the love that you have for the armed forces, you listened to me. But that did not guarantee the fact that you would come on board. And I had nothing to offer you. I could not give you the big paychecks a production house could give you, or the comfort, or a five-star setting. You knew everything, and but you took time out to read the script, and in less than 3 days, you said, "What a script!" And you came on board. That was the biggest confidence booster. So once everybody came on board and they came to accept the single vision of making Kazi, it became easier. The
No, tell me, yeah, that all that very well said and done. That you've got a team and there's that and the other, and your husband and your parents were very supportive of the fact that you wanted to dive into this. But it was like diving into a black hole where you had to swim. If you didn't know how to swim, you would have drowned. But because you swam into that black hole and in that black hole and you climbed up, what were your thoughts when you were actually going through the process of wanting to make a film? How did you manage to convince yourself that you are a filmmaker, you are an actor, and you want to get this done in spite of the support that you had, because of the support you had, but you wanted to see this particular project off the block? What were the thoughts when you actually dived into that hole? Uh, in terms of the money that you were supposed to raise, in terms of the hardships that you will probably come across. You never knew the actors. You didn't know you had to bring out a team. Uh, so all those factors put together must have been a very daunting task for you.
so that is the thing. The decision to make the film was daunting, but the process was not, because my mind works very mechanically. It works in parts. Uh, the question that I asked myself was, what's the worst that can happen in approaching people, in assembling things? What's the worst that they can happen? They'll say no. Then I move on to the next person. I had a date set in my head. I'm retiring on 28th December 2021, and I'm going to start filming on 29 Jan. 1 month time I gave myself for the. So I had to work before that, 6 months before, finding the team, developing the script, because once you write a script in your vision and people come on board, it becomes a living, breathing, collaborative fabric of a story. You had your own inputs about Benji. You asked me certain questions like aisa kaise and why this, and do you really think he would do something like that? And that put thoughts into my head. Those were all parts of filmmaking. I never saw filmmaking as a whole. And only the first time that to make a film, the first thought. After that, I did not see it. After the film was made, and we were ready for film festivals, we won several awards across the world and in India itself. But I was finding it very difficult to cross that huge ocean of agents up to the actual channels. I went to Film Bazaar once, and then again. The first time I went, I was a complete newbie, and I found it that very daunting because it was not in my hands. Whether somebody would buy my film or not, like it or not, is in their hands. It's not in mine. The moment my film went out of my hands, I started getting scared, and it was daunting. And I spent the whole of last year in abject uncertainty. I had no idea what would happen to my film. And I kept waiting and kept waiting until very recently. My station's first lady, Mrs. Meera Midha, she 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 gave me that confidence. She said, "Trust this armed forces family. They will talk about your film for you. तो just बता दे, हम इसके बारे में बात करेंगे. And I thought, yeah, why not? I'm not just a first time for Fauji. I'm a third generation. My dadu was in ASE. My dad was in ASE, and I'm in Air Force because I didn't want to be under his clutches. So I joined the Air Force instead of Army. So I started trusting that, and the moment I started trusting that, I took back the task of selling my film, distributing my film. The moment I decided I will distribute my film, and that's a very short decision. It's probably been 5 days since I came to that decision. It's only been 5 days, but since then my mind has been so clear because now it's in my hands. Now everything is a task. It's only daunting when you have no idea what the other person will do. Now मैं अपने मन से with the help of everybody around the community of Ava, Afwa, Nava, or the film community, my indie filmmaker friends, they have been so supportive, not only in their guidance as in who is approachable, who isn't, sharing contacts. We've made this very thriving community of indie filmmakers. Us, you yourself, so you have spoken so much about Kazi. You jumped on board to talk about Kazi. Though you, if we talk transactionally, there hasn't been much that we could give you, but your dedication to this project means so much to us. So with this goodwill that I have, not only from the crew, the cast, but everybody who's been involved, people who've given their homes to us for free. कि आप shoot कर लो. They've been displaced from their home. They've had to suffer our crazy schedule. But they've accommodated us and they welcomed into us into their heart. And when I told them the decision कि मैं काजी release करने वाली हूँ, they were so happy. They did not judge कि अरे ये कहाँ आ रहा है. They didn't judge it, and they had no judgments about that. So, and
But but the number of departments that a filmmaker has to handle. I mean, at the back of his mind, yes, he has his people, he has his HODs of various departments. But overall, the filmmaker or the director, I feel, has a responsibility towards all those departments. And
that
he
is
brings all those HODs together and he disperses them also and tells them, delegates work to all the HODs accordingly after having a discussion with all of them. You had no experience of any kind because you were in the Air Force, but you had a passion. You fueled that passion to such an extent that you were determined to make a film of your choice, not of somebody else's choice. You wrote the script. You wanted to make it in a particular manner. You convinced everyone that you want to make it in that manner only, unless there is a discussion or a debate as to why it should not be made in that manner. But coming to the fact that you are working with the cinematographer for the first time, you're working with the other departments for the first time, you're working with me for the first time, how did it feel to be able to convince everyone that this is the film that I want to
by telling them honestly what I felt. The fact that I had ranks on my shoulders gave me that weightage that I know what I'm talking about. Yes, I was not experienced in filmmaking, but handling different departments, that's part of an officer's day-to-day life. You have to motivate people from various backgrounds, from different parts of the country, from different financial strata, to work towards a common goal. That is very similar to how a film works. And the fact that you mentioned passion, that is what convinced them, that and the script, that this is worth putting their efforts into, putting their minds and hearts into. You mentioned that I wanted to make this film my way. I particularly chose Kazi of all the scripts I had because it was possible to make it in my budget, but also because my son is a Gurkha and I'm married to a Gurkha, and I wanted to see my son see a version of himself as the main character on a screen. And I knew that if somebody else took the script, Kazi would be from some other part of the country, and all other characters would be of other parts of the country. I This was just my little effort to speak to my heritage, or my husband's heritage and my son's heritage. So I wanted to do this on my own. Also, I'm a big believer in inclusivity. Having been a woman in the armed forces, there are certain challenges you face otherwise, not because of the organization, because ultimately people are people. They have their own set of preconceived notions, and they treat you that way because of their baggages and not because of who you are. And I wanted to make a difference with my film, so I had two trans characters in my film, two characters in my film played by trans actors. So it was not dependent on gender. Lucky Neo plays Dhruba, who is the housekeeper, who's the groundskeeper of the old age home. And Zoya Lobo, she's the first trans woman photojournalist of India. She plays the role of a doctor. So I believe what you see will definitely translate into the world, because just as uh, mood- uh, real life bleeds into real life also bleeds into real life. That's what I feel. So why not make a difference when I can? And
Oh, no, I completely agree with you. But it is really hats off to your passion, to your resilience in doing a film of your choice, the way you want to shoot it, the way you want to perform it as an actor, the way you conceive it as a film. And because you conceptualize the entire film in your head in a particular manner, you went ahead with shooting that film. All I can say is, being an actor of Kazi and being a part of this journey of yours, uh, the question I know that you would like to put to me is, why did I choose Kazi?
yes, sir.
Because, and I'm spelling it out because I'm not really concerned about the money aspect, because I like the script very, very much. I thought it's a different film, it's a different genre of filmmaking. You are making it for the first time. There is no harm in participating in a film which is being done for the first time by a person who's so fueled by his or her passion. In your case, it was your passion that actually got me on board this film. The character was short, sweet, but I thought it was a character that I wanted to do, not because uh, I took pity on the person that was making the film. No, I did not want to do that at all. And there was Hiba also in it. The only person I knew other than uh, Hiba was you in terms of being the director. And we had a couple of conversations over the character that you wanted me to play, which was Benji. And I thought it was a character that I could actually, go deep inside, dwell into that character and see what I find. And while doing the shots in the night, especially walking in the tea garden with him, Kazi at the back, the mind reader, it was really intriguing for me. I mean, otherwise, I thought that yes, Sunil Thapa was also there, but the icing on the cake was uh, the location. One, I loved it, and I wanted to be there. And two, it was, I never knew that there was going to be so much, kind of cohesiveness. There's going to be so much camaraderie in the unit. But when I reached there and I saw for myself, I said, yeah, well, I have, I think, taken the right decision, and it is a very, very good wicket to bat on. So I thought, why not give it a shot and give it my best shot, and let's see what happens.
Frankly speaking, I was intimidated directing you. but you made it so easy. Starting from that, the night in the tea gardens, your scene, we had to take 7 takes of it, because the lobhan, the
Yeah,
was lying in
yeah,
everybody and not supporting our scene. But every time I had to say so once more, I was so scared. I was so scared because here is somebody who has that stature and who has that commanding presence and who has that body of work behind him, being told by a first timer ki fir se ek baar. But you made it so easy for me. You said, Shiba, I think once more. You made it feel like, yeah, let's give it the best. You completely put me at ease after the first. In fact, you even helped me in one of my scenes. You said, Shiba, when you say Ma, look at Sunil Thapa, Mr. Sunil Thapa. You said, look at Sunil. And I took your direction, and that scene came out beautifully. So I feel like it was a very give and take set.
yeah. It also, coming back to the question of you being an actor, a question comes to my mind is that it's very difficult for a director to direct himself or herself in the first place. You have to have somebody who's pretty well, uh, you know, kind of conservative with the fact that there is this person who's going to be directing. I have the responsibility of saying, yes, it's a good shot, cut, and let's move on. That was the responsibility that your assistant director had. What is the kind of faith you had in yourself in performing as an actor?
I I feel like I am a good actor because I was just playing one of the many characters I've played all my life. So Roma goes through a lot of traumatic experiences, and I have written her through my own experiences. She has a miscarriage. I had a miscarriage. I was on duty in Srinagar with fighter aircraft flying and civil flights, and there was no way anybody could have relieved me at that time. And I had bled onto the chair, and I didn't know I was carrying at the time. And I had to, when somebody came to relieve me, I said that I was in extreme pain. It's like a part of you is being ripped out of you. And I had to, I'm so sorry. I had to carry the chair with me out because I don't want, because I work in a place where men are everywhere and I don't want them to see me in a compromised situation where not that they would, everybody has empathy, but it was a personal thing. I didn't want it. Later on, I came to know that that is what had happened. And we had been trying to conceive for almost a year prior to that. So the pain of the loss, other than the physical pain, the shame of where it happened, these are all internalized feelings. This is not somebody told me ki, shame on you. No, it's something I internalized inside me. And so I just brought out these factors through Roma. Whatever
No,
she,
I think those scenes have really come out very well, where you are in great pain. And, I remember that one shot of yours when I saw the film and I saw the trailer once again, is that one shot where both of you are putting your heads together. You are in that zone that I'm really sorry.
for that scene, I had to ask another friend of mine, the wife of an officer. She had also had a miscarriage and a terrible one at that. And how her husband had been there. Mine was a few weeks, so it didn't have that emotional impact on my spouse. But when you're a few months along, like Roma was
Yeah.
almost 6 months into it when it happens to her in the film. This character, I'm sorry, the lady I had spoken to, she told how her husband had he couldn't express what he was feeling because he was dealing with her pain. And I
Correct.
wanted to show that for Kazi. I wanted to make Kazi very human. Even in his own mind, he's trying his best to be human. And so
Yeah,
That
he's to grapple with that whole episode that has happened with you. He doesn't really know how to grapple with that. He doesn't know how to, you know, bring about a change in himself uh, to what kind of pain that you are going through. And that was such a beautiful scene. I remember that scene so clearly and so vividly, with his hair lock falling down like that on his eyes, on his right eye, and you can see only your two heads in the silhouette. It was really very well done, and I'm glad that you kind of picturized it in that manner. You conceptualized the entire scene in that fashion, because yeah, not many people know that lifespans also come about in great stead when you're an actor. When you bring it on celluloid, uh, they feel that, oh, what a fantastic performance. Yeah, it is a fantastic performance because you've gone through something like that, and that is what I find acting to be so kind of exhilarating, because you bring life's moments for that one split second on the screen, and you feel so beautiful about it. The same thing happened when I was doing Razi, when we were shooting that scene where I have to take the flag from a senior officer, from the general, and the only thing that I could see in front of me, with my eyes straight, not even looking down to the grave, was I was imagining my father there in the grave, or sleeping there with the white cloth on him. And I could just see that. And that is what actually motivated me to such an extent that it was impossible for me to, after I finished the shot, to come out of that immediately. It's not a switch on, switch off kind of situation. Sometimes you take a couple of minutes, and they told me, just leave him alone. Do not, just leave him. He will be all right. And I came out of that because I had to shoot the entire thing once again in a wider shot. So I can imagine how you must have felt uh, bringing that moment to life for yourself. Must have been painful. Yes, surely it is. It's always painful for an actor to bring life's personal moments onto screen. But coming to the fact that, having done that film as an actor, uh, I I would say that I would want people to actually see this film and see it with an open mind. See it with a mind where you don't think that it is a first time filmmaker making this film. It is a filmmaker who's made this film. See it with that mind. Because the moment you see it with a person who's made this film for the first time, your thoughts start, coming to a certain conclusion about the film and about the filmmaker. So, my request to all of them who are going to see the film or the trailer or have seen the teaser, please see it with an open mind. We have made, Sheba has given her best shot as a director, as an actor. She has tried to bring all the departments together. And if you see the film, it does not feel that it is a first time filmmaker. I'm not saying it only because Sheba is in front of me. No. But when you see the film, it has to be professionally very good for anyone to appreciate a film. And this is one of those films where I think, Shiba, you've done so well. And I would only tell the audience to, of course, see the film with an open mind. But also, if there is any criticism, please do let us know, or please do let Shiba know, or me know. Doesn't matter. Whether you like the film, it was bad, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, is a different question altogether. But at least watch the film. Watch it for its honesty. Watch it for its truthfulness. Watch it for its integrity towards being a filmmaker, being an actor. It is very difficult, and I'm telling you from experience, it is very difficult to be a director and an actor.
That is
Only
100% true. So switching on and off is extremely difficult. To come back
yeah,
into
it
the
is.
zone, you look at yourself on the monitor, you watch the scene, is like, and especially like if it's an emotional screaming, crying out scene, to bring that same thing after each take, like, critiquing yourself. There was uh, a little homely scene between Kazi and Roma, where Roma initiates a kiss with Kazi. So at
Yes.
the time while I was performing it, I was so into my head because it felt like, okay, I am the director, so I have some sort of responsibility towards my actor. What about consent? I started like spiraling out, like, am I taking advantage of a person? Then it becomes very difficult to do a scene like that.
True,
My
absolutely,
husband was
absolutely.
right there.
Sorry?
My husband was right there for that scene.
Yeah. No, I am really appreciative of Vivek. I'm really appreciative of your parents who have, wholeheartedly opened out to you and said, please go ahead and make your film. That passion that you have, the drive that you have, go and show it to them. It's the same kind of drive probably you would have had when you joined the Air Force, because you wanted to do something in life. You wanted to, not to prove anything. I'm not saying that by making a film you've proved something. No, it is, I don't agree with that word prove.
You
If
have
you have to
nothing
do
to prove to
something,
anybody.
you have nothing to prove to anyone, not even to yourself. You have done it because you've had that drive in you, you have that passion in you have that honesty and the truthfulness that you want to do something. So let me go and do it. And you did that when you joined the Air Force, you did that when you left the Air Force, and you did that when you started thinking about doing a film, which is in 1 month, which is, according to me, I think it's a record that somebody who's left a secured job where you get an envelope at the end of the month and not knowing what is in store for you tomorrow, suddenly to kick that off and say, okay, I'm going to make a film, and that too happens in 1 month, is is an incredible story, really. I don't know how you pulled it off. I guess you had,
I sometimes wonder how did I do it because I
yeah,
don't,
I'm still
especially
wondering as to how you did it in 1 month, because
I was
people take years on
I was still
to
nursing
create.
you at the time. My son, he was just one and a
Yeah,
half.
I know. Yeah, I know. I mean, I was there when he was little thing. Now, of course, he's. I mean, yeah, he's growing, and so are we. So all I can say is the role that came to me in, and I think I said yes within 3 days' time after I read the script and said no, I must do this, and I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that I am part of film, and I am now looking forward to the sequel
So
whenever that happens.
before we uh, before we move on to other things, so what is the USP of Kazi?
Ah, I think the USP of Kazi is uh, how you actually brought everyone together to do a film. You didn't know anyone. To bring people together from different walks of life, from different strata of life, uh, who are, of course, passionate about the profession. They have to be passionate about doing a film, to bring about a camaraderie, to bring about that cohesiveness in the unit, and doing a film and doing it well with the least amount of shosha, if I can call it. There is no shosha there at all. I mean, least amount, no, I think it's the wrong word. I think there is no shosha at all. There was simplicity to the minimum level. And I think that is what brought about a film where you, as a director, found it easier to deal with people because everyone was there with you. Everyone was there and saying that, no, Sheba, I think we should make this and we should make it well.
I was blessed to have a team who believed in Kazi.
Yes, who believed in you, yes.
And
Who
me.
believed in Kazi and believed in you as the captain of the ship, believed in, and you believed in all the actors to deliver. And it has turned out to be an independent film, which I think you should be completely proud of. And the USP is the simplicity, the honesty, the from the heart kind of film that has come onto the screen. And you should be completely proud of yourself, no matter how the film has done, whether it's done well, whether people are buying it, not buying it. But you have achieved something in life, which is extremely, extremely important.
Thank you so much.
It gives you that ultimate satisfaction that, yes, I have done something, I have achieved something. I'm not proving anything to myself, I'm not proving anything to the world, but at the same time, I want the world to see what I have done. And I want the world to see what you have done.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining me again for this talk after my Popeye yesterday. Thank you
Not
for
at all.
thank you for
It's
your
been a
support.
pleasure. It's been a pleasure knowing you, knowing your dad and your mom. I still have to have a drink with your dad.
He has a bottle saved for you.
So whenever I come to Delhi, I will make it a point to come over and have a drink with you, chat with Vivek, and I wish you all the best for anything that you want to do, all the endeavors that you want to accomplish, anything that you have envisioned in your life to bring to the big screen. For example, the sequel to Kazi. I am always there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you for this candid, heartfelt talk. Really means a lot.
Yes, I think sometimes it's necessary to pour out your emotions to a person that you feel connected, and I feel very connected with you right from the very beginning.
Same here.
From the time we started filming, from the time you actually sent me the script, the time we spoke on the phone, I feel extremely connected, and I think that's the only way you can actually satisfy your own, what should I say, your needs about wanting to be the person that you are. Don't want to flash around and say, oh, I am so and so. No, I think to be grounded, to be there standing on your feet with a lot of discipline and a lot of focus is what I think an actor should be. And that is why theater is an extremely important part of any actor's life.
That is absolutely true. Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Sheba. Thank you.
More of your time.
Thank you. I really appreciate this, and please give my regards to mom, dad, your little son.
Yes.
Vivek, to yourself, lots and lots of love, and look forward to chatting with you once again. But you have to tell me, you have to send me the script with the secret that you have, which you're not going to disclose.
Very soon.
Yeah, please do that. Please do that. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, sir. So nice
Bye.
meeting you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.